Why you got it on top of the thing?
Why not? I don't want to put my journal on the floor.
On the bed.
I want it like close by.
You're writing it right now?
I might, like somebody might say something.
Yeah. Oh, that's the shower head.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it to our showers. Yeah, but I gotta install this, man. I ain't install. What we is on you today?
Yes, it is on me today with these topics. But I always like to wait a couple of minutes to get people in here. I like to start right away. Good ones, though. Y'all put your glories in as y'all come in, please. I just did mine. Feeling good about it. Okay. Okay. So this is good, actually. Um. I'm gonna be listening to myself, and it's gonna be weird. So my first question is, and I post this on my TikTok, and I thought that it would get more feedback than what it did, but for my daily dose of DOSS, I want to revisit this topic and ask, what does being pro-black mean? What does it mean to you? You know, I thought this was actually a cute little topic because, I was feeling very, very good in my all black attire today, even though it's hot. I still was like, yeah, I always feel powerful when I'm putting on black, you know. And so it just made me think, like, what does pro black mean to you? And I remember when I posted this on my TikTok, colored only Courtney, I thought I would get more responses, and it really wasn't that many. It wasn't that many people like feeding back, and I just, of course, sometimes you have to consider the messenger. I was like, well, maybe, uh, you know, maybe they wanted the conversation posed by, I think, like maybe like somebody like Angela Rye was asking it.
Who?
Angela Rye. She's a social commentator. A social cultural commentator.
Expert or something?
Huh?
Expert or something?
What kind are they?
Peanut?
No, thank you. So yeah, what does pro black mean to you? I think pro black to me means that and quite honestly, I've had to kind of I've reorganized my thinking amongst this around this several times in my life because when I first started using this term or thinking of this term, the first time I ever thought about it were the people that reacted positively to OJ Simpson's acquittal. I was like, that's these people are for black people. This is what me being pro-black meant. And this was, of course, I was like what 14 years old. And so I was just like, this is these people, this is who is for, this is black people, this is what being black means. Like, we're excited that that OJ Simpson got off. And what I really loved about that moment particularly was because of the fact that it was very well known, it was very well talked about that OJ Simpson even himself was not pro-black. but we as a people were like rallying. Hey, NC worker, thanks for joining in today. We as a people were like, we were like, hey, we riding with him. We riding with him, like literally, we riding with him. Um, Johnny Cochran did his thing. Um, it was just it was a real moment, and I remember that moment. And I remember my school, because what happened was I had come out of uh, drama to actually to call my dad, and I was like, Dad, that verdict came down yet? And it was so I was in Mainland High School, y'all, and I was like at the bottom of the staircase and where the payphones were. And so my dad was like, and so literally
Where's Mainland?
Mainland's in Daytona Beach, Florida. Yes.
I knew that.
I know. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for reminding me to say that. So yeah, I was like, Dad, that verdict came down yet? And he was like, no. And he's like, where are you? And I was like, I'm on the phone with you. What you mean? Where am I? He was like, no, why aren't you in class? And I said, Dad, I'm on a bathroom break. Like, hurry up. I just wanted to, because this was before the time where we had the beepers. I actually think we did have beepers, but my dad did not, my parents did not communicate with me through no beep. they were not responding. I remember the first time my mom sent me a beep.
A beeper or a Scott beeper?
Like a beeper. Yeah, that's what it's called, a pager. Not like a sidekick, like a pager. Like you had to put in codes for it to be words, like that sort of thing.
And so, a real beeper.
My mom, yes, a real beeper. My mom sent me a message, and I was just like, man, this thing is. I'm gonna throw this thing away. She sent me the home number to call home. I was just like, call it home, throw this thing away. But yeah, he was like, well, they haven't read the verdict yet, and I was like, Dad, like, I gotta get back to class. And he's like, what you want me to do, Courtney? I can't make them read the verdict. And I was just like, man. So I was like, okay. And he's like, wait. All right, is something coming in? Not guilty. Not guilty. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so literally, as he was saying that, the bell rung. And I'm walking back to class just to get my books at this point, because I've, I had squandered away all of my bathroom break, and I was like just grabbing my stuff so I could go to the next class. And I'm walking through the halls, and like the doors open, and all of the white kids coming out were literally like sad, like heads down. I remember David Fant, who I used to be really cool with, was like, and all the black kids were rejoicing. We were high-fiving each other. We were like, pumping fists. It was a stark contrast. And I remember David Fant, who I was very cool with prior to this. He was just like, I can't believe that y'all would be celebrating of somebody murdering somebody. And I was like, are you serious? Like, y'all keep the same energy. And I remember it was people that I was like high-fiving that I hadn't even talked to. I didn't, we weren't cool, but it was just this moment. And I just felt like this is what being pro-Black, we're for Black people. This is what being pro-Black meant. So that was my earliest, and I was like 14. And of course, like I said, it's changed as I've gotten older, as I've gotten more mature. It went from being pro-Black is because my first marriage, it was a Black man, and we planned on having this Black, super Black, so Black. We planned on having the super Black family, and then when we divorced, and then my parents had grown me up to feel like being proud of natural aesthetics. That was pro-Black. And so when my mom passed, my dad married a woman that was not Black. And then when I got divorced, my ex-husband married a woman that was not Black. And so it really started to make me think of, these were things that I thought of as Black. And it was with, it definitely centered around having a Black family. And now I don't have like a Black family anymore. So it was kind of odd. So it kind of made me think, okay, what is being pro-Black meant for me at that point? And then I, like I said, I started, just getting into studying certain academics, certain movements. And that was some of the hardest thing that I had to also come to realization of, because my father was a historian. He was a history teacher, and he had been such an integral part of me like developing pride in the Black race and who we were as Black people and who we were before we were, U.S. Black. My dad was very well traveled, and as was my mom, and so they really instilled that into me, like with appreciating African, our African heritage, like confidence and pride, really, really was supported and encouraged by them. And once my mom was gone, I really didn't have that to kind of like refer back to. I mean, I had it to think about because, of course, she had taught me these things, but it was just like no current or no present state of mind with it. I started to shape my own opinions about what being pro-Black meant. So yeah, that's my first contribution today, babe, to Daily Dose of Doss. How would you like to, or would you like to piggyback on that?
Pro-Black.
Pro-Black, Black on Black on Black.
I think you didn't get that a bigger response
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok. Most people can't define pro-Black, or my definition of pro-Black would be different from Jermaine's definition of pro-Black.
That's why I wanted to like
Wow.
put it on a platform that was like that could give different ideas.
Yeah, but I think most can't really define it. I don't think because I don't really consider myself pro-Black. And
you don't?
No. But
yes, what do you think is pro-Black? Y'all better get y'all some of this.
It's only good cold though. It's only good cold.
Better than chicken salad.
Better than what?
Chicken salad.
It's water.
It's a joke.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
It is better though.
Anyway, like a lot of people like, nah, especially jokes that knew me over the years and watch me turn into, basically mature to what I am now. No, they'd be like, nah, what's about that? Pro-Black, pro this, pro that. I think that word pro-Black has been used to
Hey Naima.
Hey.
Always love to see you here. Oh, let me put up the stuff, y'all.
It's,
I keep forgetting. See, that's a ticker.
I think it's commercialized. I think it's watered down. Kind of like the word woke. Because woke to me is just another way of saying pro-Black. So I'm not. Listen, I know what I know. I know what I don't know, and I just want the best for my people.
But you don't think that's so? Is that why you don't think of pro-Black, because you think it's
no,
like woke?
Because at the same time, I also know you can't bring everybody, and some of these Negroes, men of color, the N-word, whatever adjective you can come up with, they need to be taken behind the shit, between the back of the head. Some need to be taken off the count. It is what it is. Now,
I love that phrase.
Taken off the count?
Yes.
But some of them need to go. And that ain't pro-Black. That ain't woke.
I think, like I said, that's why I posted where I did in a broad platform, because I do think it varies for some people. Like there's some people that I know that they are my I just think that some people would be like, hey, I'm pro-Black even though I'm not Black. And some people, one of the main things that you need to be To be pro-black is to be black. But some people, you don't need to
But
be
see, this
black
is what
to
I'm
be
saying.
pro-black.
This is why, excuse me, being pro-black, being woke, all this, you can, if someone can fix their face, who is not, who doesn't look like me, he can say, "Nah, I'm pro-black." Then yeah, that ain't me. That ain't what I am. If somebody can fix their face and say, "Yeah, I'm woke," okay, you woke up this morning. That ain't me. You can never be me.
But they're not saying I'm divine. They're saying I'm pro-black. Like I'm for.
Nah,
Can somebody be for you and not be you?
nah,
We do it all the time in relationships.
nah. Listen,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is this: if you're not willing to give it all up, lay it all down for me and mine, you ain't me.
So are you saying
And you ain't down for
you're
me.
not willing to do that for black people, so you're not pro-black?
No. I didn't say that.
Well, I'm asking.
I mean, did we not do that?
We did. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm saying, why would you not think that you are pro-black?
Because if someone can say, somebody that doesn't look like me, hasn't shared the same experience that I've shared, said they pro-black.
But that's them. That doesn't matter to how you define it. That's them.
Because pro-black is nothing but a word.
So
anybody can say they pro-black. You know what I'm saying? Pro-black? No, I'm not. Not. Just me.
It's just you.
Just me.
So you said, yeah, I think so too, Naima. Thank you for that point. I think people do have their own terms, but what does it mean to you? When you think of someone who's pro-black, what does that mean? Does that mean that they are always rocking? You know, for a long time, y'all, I felt like I was very pro-black, and I was told by several people that I was not pro-black because I didn't love myself because I was always wearing weaves. And I mean, the longer the better, baby. I was always, most people they never saw, like, if somebody could, if they knew me for a span of a decade, especially like anyone that knew me in Philadelphia, they never saw my hair. No, actually, they did. I had a Nia long cut like my first like year teaching. But that was it. And then from that, it was all long, and I mean long micros, long. And it was, I remember one time before I was leaving, a good I don't know if we were exactly friends, but she was always good to hang out with, but we weren't like friends, but we would go, no, her name was Tiffany. But Tiffany was like, Courtney, because what happened? I had like a puffy like weave. My mom used to love when I wore this particular weave. And every so often I would get it back because I would think of my mom, how much she loved this. But it was very natural looking. I never put any like lot of body or anything on it, but it was Brazilian, but I would brush it. So it was really big and puffy. People, like they loved it. Round? Nah, it was big. Like think Shaka Khan. It was like Shaka Khan hair.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And I wear it all the time. Well, not all the time, but yeah, I would do it every so often, like in my season. And it never felt, people always thought it was my natural hair. Because it was coarse, it was big, it was fluffy, it was like Chihuahua, my poodle hair and stuff like that. And so she was like, I was telling her that I was about to get my hair braided. And she was like, oh, that's going to look so nice because, your hair is really grown out. And I was like, grown out? Like, what are you talking about? And she was just like, yeah, your hair is like, it's really grown out. Like, since the last time I saw you.
Wait, who said this? Oh.
And I was like, and it really dawned on me that she really thought, like, when I had my hair and like all the little other styles, because I wear them in bobs and things like that. She thought that was my hair. She really thought this big, puffy, lot of, it was like free, but it was longer. Oh yeah, I'm gonna write him back. Anarchist, the gardener. The guitarist gardener. Yeah. Um, because I have looked at a couple of them, the anarchy groups and stuff. But yeah. So it dawned on me that she thought that that was my hair, and so it really harkened me back to when I was in college. I had a really hard conversation with one of my professors, and she was just like, you know, Courtney, you cannot be over here talking about the Black Panthers and like all of these pro-black, you know, stances that you're taking.
See,
and you sitting over here rocking some fake hair, some fakeness.
See, that's the bullshit, though.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you like this, right?
Tell us, baby.
And look,
tell him, Abby.
Even though I don't really agree with the weaves and, you know, all this.
The lashes.
The
I think you would still holler at me with my weave and lashes, though.
No, I wouldn't.
Mine look good in the thing.
Yeah, but you'd have to do something like I'm standing in front of me to pick my interest.
I did.
I
look awesome
but listen, and you gotta understand something too. We run in totally different circles.
What that mean?
What that mean?
Yeah, what that mean?
You wasn't rolling up on her 88th.
No, I'm talking about like if I was at Palmetto's house and I was decked
but back then I wouldn't have been at Palmetto's house.
No, I'm not talking about back then. I'm talking about now. Like I'm talking about right now. Like if 2 years ago.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. But anyway,
good.
Can I tell you? Anyway, even though I might not agree with these things, I wouldn't judge your blackness off of that. I'm not going to gauge how black you are or how revolutionary or woke, pro-black, whatever you are because you got some weave in. I'm not like who was this broad to even come at you like that? Like how you gonna be talking about this? You got weave in your head.
No, she was someone that I did and I do still respect.
Okay, that's fine.
Like I said, and she was about what she said she was about.
Yeah, but okay, so
and she was right about a lot what went into it. And you know, the other people that also used to say that to me were my grandmother and my mom. I remember my mom and my grandma independently though. They would always tell me, they were like, "It's gonna come a day where you know you won't wear these weaves. Like you know these weaves are like silly, you know." And I remember they would both tell me that it would come a time where you know I wouldn't wear them. And I used to really think that my mom. First, I thought my mom was jealous. Until like I just look so good in these things, she's jealous of me. But I was like, you know. But then with my grandma, I used to be like, what do they know about weaves? I'm like, are weave shops going to shut down? Because they were both very adamant that there would be a time where I wouldn't wear them. And I couldn't imagine a time where I didn't want to wear them.
Yeah, but
I just thought they were like well, I'm not going to have access to them? Because I'm always going to have me some weaves.
Yeah, but Courtney, who was this brother to sit there and tell you that how you going to be talking black this, black that? And got weave?
She said that it was contradictory. That's what she said.
Nah.
And I get it. I get it now. I didn't want to get it then because
listen, this is her.
I wanted to keep wearing what I want.
People like her, I can't stand them. Like, who the fuck are you to judge my blackness on whatever I do? What makes you the gauge? What makes you the expert on who's black enough or who's not black? We just went through that bullshit with
Yes, I know.
Oh girl.
Yes, I understand.
So like it's too black. Who the fuck are you talking about? It's too black.
I hear you, but again, I do think that I'm not like you in that regard. Like I'm not going to discount people's opinions and just say, okay, well, I don't throw babies out with the bathwater. Like even if sometimes I don't agree, I really I do think about our process why I disagree. And the reason why I disagreed with her statement was because of the fact I wanted to keep wearing weaves. I like wearing them. I didn't disagree with them because
I wish somebody would try to judge my blackness, like really truly judge it, or something like I'm too black and not black enough. It might get violent. It might get violent.
You get violent with old girl, and you
I
just
kind of like Ashley though.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was still some bullshit though.
It was, but that's what I'm saying. I still appreciated my, my professor.
Damn, I said I need no more.
You did, and I appreciate still my
I'm taking it
professor.
back.
It doesn't really work that way, but and it could be any a boogie, but I still respected her, and I still and it hurt what she was saying, but I had to appreciate where she was coming from, because the things that I was speaking out on, like I think I wrote some big article about like I was never really like
that's the same
big on
Beyonce. That the
Beyonce.
message don't match the package or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was her. That was her.
I mean, see, this is what I'm saying. So what do they expect?
They expected for me to not be like I said, I wasn't just weave. Oh, it wasn't just like weave, like it was like a braids. Like I was into very much like weave. And this is before weave. Like weave is very much accepted and popular now. The way I was wearing weaves, it was like I was always with the split long, the long Naomi Campbell. Like I always had some kind of like it was the weave, the same way how baby hair phenomenon is now.
Oh, that little wavy thing.
That's weird. Stupid. But that's the way I was with weaves. And so it's like how people can look at it and they say they know that it's fake or they know whatever. But a lot of people did. They thought it was my hair, but it wasn't just that. It was just the fact that, like I said, I always had, like, you never, like some girls. And what's funny is that I never wore wigs, and I would pride myself on that. I wasn't into wigs, but I always had weave. I always had weave.
A long rental weave.
A long
rental wig.
A long rental.
Yeah, like you had like
a long term wig.
Yeah, long term wig.
I think that wigs last longer than wigs.
Yeah, but I'm saying like it's sold in. Take like to me, wigs is hats. I'm sorry, wigs is hats.
Yeah, wigs are hats. Yeah, yeah, hair hats. What?
That's it. What? This nigga take my hat off and how much she gotta take hers off.
Yeah, that's wigs always felt to me like too much. And also too, what I didn't like about wigs was that, when a lot of girls, when they would take the wig off, their hair was like, it was like cornrows. Like it was a style they wouldn't rock. And I just felt like, okay, like I wore long, cornrows. I wore those styles, but I felt like with some of these girls, like it was styles that they wouldn't rock. And I always never wanted to be embarrassed by the whole taking off of the wig thing. But yeah, weaves are like just wigs that you can kind of maneuver. They're a little bit more flexible and you don't take them off and on. And I've never in my life owned a wig. Never in my life owned a wig and not interested in it. People used to always say, when I tell them I wouldn't go back to weaves and I'm not interested in wigs. And they're like, oh, but what about, chemotherapy patients and stuff like that? I'd be like, what's wrong with it? I would rock a bald head. Like, I would just go bald. I like my little fro and I like my little naps and all of that good stuff. But I'm just not interested in upkeep. I'm not interested in pretending. I'm not interested in the pretending of wigs like how I once was. And that's what I had to realize, that, as much as I didn't like it, she was right with that. Like I was talking about these other things, but I was so concerned with my image that I couldn't even be true to myself. And acceptance don't change standards, but I do think that there are a lot of women that they do not like to admit that it is a self-hate thing. It's a self-hate thing. They want to say, oh, protective styles. Protect them from what, sis? The sun? Like, what you protecting your hair from?
What?
Protective styles. Like, and some of these things, that's what they say wigs and weaves are. They're protective styles.
Protective styles?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
What is the style protecting?
It's protecting their hair from, like, just the wear and tear, like, heat damage, things like that. Yeah.
But hair was kind of like like it needs to breathe. The scalp needs to breathe. Like the sun needs to hit it every now and then.
Yeah, and
like,
I
these
think
things need to happen.
that this
like,
is
they're
true.
supposed to happen.
I think this is true, but again, I was just bringing that up for contribution in regards to the pro-black conversation. Like there were, I've regrouped or I've reimagined what being pro-black has meant as I've grown.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
And I kind of keep going back to you that's a chick. But you didn't feel offended when she said, the package doesn't match the message.
Yeah, but it wasn't the first time I had heard that, and it wasn't the last.
I mean, she was offended then too.
It was no, because you know why I wasn't offended? Because I love her, still love her, and I knew she loved me. I knew it wasn't coming from a place of where she was trying to make me feel bad or she was trying to like shame me. It was coming from a place of like real like look at this. Come on. You can't be seriously talking about like Beyonce being phony, and you over here rocking.
I understand it, but I don't like that shit. I don't think that at all because like, okay, you see how I dress. I had one of my men tell me like, yo, you dress like a '90s rapper. It's like, okay, well, this is my era. I was doing that, and I'm bringing it back. Besides, what I'm gonna do? Run around here wearing that tight shit y'all wear?
You don't have to wear tight stuff, but Divine, as a man of your age, there are certain things that you can wear. You can change it. You could stand for a little change. You could.
I did change. I stopped wearing my hat to the back.
Awesome.
There you go.
No, I mean there's things that you can do with your wardrobe.
No, but let me get to my point though.
Okay.
Like people will see the way I'm dressed, and like this is. I mean, like first of all, this is what I think. I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable. You know, listen, I'm not looking for nothing that's matching this, that, and the other than my sneakers. First, I got my stuff in the drawer. It's folded. It's in stacks. Boom. Boom. That's what I'm putting on. I'm not sifting and searching unless I'm looking for like my black supremacy shirt. Yeah. That's the only thing I'm ever going to be looking for. Anything else? When I run out of white tees, I go to the black. When I run out of black tees, I go to the white. That's it. That's it. Whatever's next in that pile, that's what gets worn on that day. So it's about comfortability. But here's the thing. Because for the most part, I dress pretty casual. Mm-hmm. I'm in sweats. I own one pair of jeans. Yeah. I own one pair of jeans. But people will see, either the hat down low or, used to be hat to the back, hoodie, maybe a vest, polo, whatever. They will automatically assume that I'm less than. And then I got to straighten them out. Now, don't think that because I'm dressed a certain way that I'm an idiot. Mm. Don't pre-assume, or as your people say, the message doesn't match the package. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, maybe maybe your package is wrong. How about that?
That wouldn't be their package.
Their package. Mm-hmm. What they think the package should look like. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's wrong. That's what I'm saying. Because like you can't. This is prejudging, and this is the problem I've been having with the academics. Mm-hmm. They feel like, okay, well, we done went to Harvard and Brown and Yale, and
but you see what you're doing. You see what you're doing.
What?
You're prejudging them.
Nah, because I like
exceptions don't change standards.
We mean exceptions don't change standards.
Exceptions don't change standards. The ones that you've met or the ones that you've encountered is still a small percentage of the
whole shebang.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But show these dudes that's gonna treat me, not prejudge.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You've met a small number, and you've made a generalization on all, and it's the same thing. How right. We always say,
You're probably right.
What the alphabet mafia does.
The who?
Alphabet Mafia.
Oh,
How they
mm-hmm.
say that they don't, they're how they come against being bullied and whatnot, but then they're doing the same thing.
Right.
I think by the way you have generalized, you being prejudged, you're prejudging who generalizes.
I'm prejudging who generalizes.
Absolutely. You're thinking that, these Harvard dudes are these Harvard people are like looking down on me. But I always say, honey, people, I think you would be surprised that your familiarity breeds contempt. So this is the reason why where people are, when they say, why do people vote? They don't vote. They don't vote for their peers. They vote for people that they think are doing better than them. We're our harshest critic, which is a great segue actually to my next topic. But go ahead and finish up
I forgot it, man. Because about them prejudging something.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
I'm thinking. Okay. I'm thinking. All right. No. But this was the problem that we're at right now. A lot of what I know is pretty much self-taught. Or just me reading. I had a 20-year hiatus where I had an exuberance of time to read a bunch of stuff. But even before, prior to that, there was certain things that I did read. But a lot of times, when you ripping and running, you ain't paying no books. I don't care who you are. Once you ripping and running, whether it's legal or illegal, whatever, you ain't got time to pick up no books. You ain't picking up no books. You just not. But when you get that, when they call that time out, and they sit you down, there's nothing else left to do. You start picking up books if that's what you was. And so there's a lot of stuff that I do know that I probably wouldn't know had I not had, had they not put me in the timeout.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for like I used to have guys throw tests because they didn't want to work.
All right.
And they went, I told you about that.
Yeah.
I refuse.
Yeah.
I said I refuse to let these motherfuckers ever believe that they would ever be one up on me. Like I wanted every pig in there to know, like, you're not smarter than me, bro. You're not smarter than me. Every one of them civilians walking through there, no, you are not talking to a dummy. And every chance I got, I proved that you're not smarter than me.
Right.
Don't think because I'm on these walls that you're smarter than me. I tripped up. But like the phoenix, I shall rise again. But I don't want to talk off topic. But I think that this pro-black thing, when people that consider themselves pro-black, they become extremely judgmental, and then they start to judge and gauge other people's blackness. And this is where there's a disconnect, where you have pro-black, woke, whatever, and just regular, people that just trying to get through the day, and they're not really thinking about like the whole. They thinking about, I got to make sure, baby girl and little man got some things to go to school, and wife wanting some new earrings. Is it is what it is. So this is what he's worried about. He's not worried about Jamal around the corner got his brain stomped in by the police and they picketing over there. It's not have time for that because the baby needs campus. You know what I'm saying? And because this is what he's worried about, his priority is his household, his family.
So, but
no, let me finish. His household, his family.
I got a good one for that.
Right? they would say that he is unaware. He's not pro-black, or he's not woke.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the same time, because Jamal got his ass whooped over there and got his brains kicked in, it does affect him. But he's not looking at that. I'm not going to judge him because his reality, his priorities, his family. Okay, then that's your, you can't pull someone in if they are unwilling. This is not something you recruit for. This is not a gang. This is not the military. This is not what do you call it? A political party. When you start talking about revolutionary ideas, and things of this nature, this either it's in you or it ain't. Either you with it or you're not. This is like I can give you some information. I can feed you. I can offer you the plate if you're willing to eat. Then you'll come. You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't ready, you ain't ready. And you can't judge somebody to on where you're at as opposed to where they're at.
I disagree, though. I disagree.
Why?
Because like I said, I think that in regards to I think there's wisdom to be learned from elders, and I do think that what we will continue to have are if generations don't want to learn, okay, um how to effectively impact their generation or the next generation. What we continue to do is keep learning the same lessons within our generation. Like, we keep looking at our peers and saying, well, they ain't doing shit, and but it's cool, it's okay, instead of using something to aspire to. And I think that when we're talking about pro-black, or we're talking about the significance of putting race first, putting ideals first, prioritizing our comeuppance, I think that these are certain things that should be considered. And the way I was moving was not pro-black. It wasn't just because of the fact that I liked wearing weave and I have self-hate. It was, who am I patronizing when I'm going to buy these weaves? I'm spending my money, our money, and putting it into some Chinese people pockets. That's not pro-black.
Okay.
I ain't spending pro-black.
Yeah, you wasn't supporting black businesses.
I wasn't, and that was where because at this point in time I wasn't paying rent, so that's where like literally 80% of my income was going.
This goes back to what I said. This is not something that can be recruited in. This is not something that it's not a game. It's not these things where you recruit. It was. No, but let me finish. Okay. When you're ready, you're ready. Because let me tell you something. Right. 49 years old, right? Right. Let's go back 30 years. Mm-hmm. I'm 19. Yeah. Up to here in the mark. Mm-hmm. Up to here in the mark. Right. If someone would have told me, yo, we're going to do, anything remotely what we got going on now, mm-hmm. That's either.
But see, that's you at 19.
But I wasn't ready. At 19, I wasn't ready. At 25, I wasn't ready. Okay. At 30, I wasn't ready.
Oh, I hear you, but Devon, the difference is at 19, I thought I was. And she pointed out that you're not. Okay. You can't be. I'm come on. You can't be out here thinking that you're being truthful. You're being honest. What I was practicing was cognitive dissonance. I was being ignorant. I was willfully being ignorant, but justifying it. And I justified it with emotions because I like the way we've looked. I like the way I looked with it. I did not want to rock my natural hair. I did not think these natural features looked good. I thought I looked good with straight hair, with Naomi Campbell's. Like this was the reality. I was 19 years old, but I was telling people, I was literally writing publications and leading efforts into getting females, getting your mind together, getting your mind right.
Okay, let me ask you this. All right, remember what's with kid that was putting out the Malcolm X video.
Yeah, you come out from TikTok.
Right.
Okay.
And you reached out.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's do something. He was like, nah, this is all I want to do.
That's all you want to do. College.
And he was 19,
17.
17,
young.
Okay, so at 17, he's probably doing a whole, he's putting out the Malcolm X stuff.
Right.
He's probably doing other stuff too. You were doing the same thing.
But what do you mean?
What do I mean is this? Okay, so yeah, you lead in this group, whatever.
Right, and I'm writing these articles, and I'm telling them, girls, get serious. You ain't talking about nothing.
Here it is.
I was down in Beyonce lyrics.
Yeah, but here it is. This kid is 17 years old, right? And he's putting out all these Malcolm X videos. Right. I haven't seen them lately. He might have kind of shut down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but either way, but he he's doing all this Malcolm X stuff, right? Like Malcolm X speeches. That's all he's doing. He's throwing them out. Yeah. And that's all he's doing.
Yeah.
So, you trying to bring him in, like let's do some more. Let's up the ante.
Right.
And he's like, nah,
that's all I wanted to do.
So he wanted to do.
That's all I want to do.
Because he ain't ready.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he's putting him out the Malcolm X videos, but you know what? He's probably blowing while he's doing it. Or he's doing something else. Maybe, he messing with some white chicks. I don't know. But
and then also too, never was confirmed he could have been white. Like that was never confirmed that he was black.
I'm gonna assume he was black, but either way, this thing comes in stages. It doesn't all come at one time, though, Courtney.
Devon, I'm not saying that it doesn't. Because like I said, again, as I've grown, I've regrouped and reimagined.
Okay.
But I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
That checking was appropriate. And there is nothing wrong with elders checking someone out of love. It was a check because of the fact that, like you said, you weren't there, but you didn't want to be there. I did. I thought I was, what you mean? I'm not into this thing and I'm not revolutionary. But I couldn't even admit that I hated my looks. I needed that checking, and I needed that checking from love. And there is a difference. It wasn't like she was, like I said, she wasn't saying this to hurt me. She wasn't saying this to crush me. She wasn't saying this to ridicule me or to shame me. She was saying it to me out of love. Like, Courtney, like this is you can't think that you're going to be taken seriously when you're so adamant about this. But this is, I like wearing tight clothes. I like wearing revealing clothes, And I was talking about how
I got distracted.
How women should be conducting themselves, but I was trying to present my body and to have this, I wanted to be a video girl, but I thought I was going to be revolutionizing, like I was going to make that revolutionary, at the same time. And she was just like, hey, it doesn't work that way. And I remember saying, I was just like, how come it can work that way for Beyonce? And she was like, Courtney, you're not Beyonce. And it reminded me of a conversation I used to have with my mom all the time about Marilyn Monroe. I love Marilyn Monroe. And she used to be like, Courtney, Marilyn Monroe was like, my mom had not so kind words to say about Marilyn Monroe and all of her shenanigans. And I was just like, no, like she was a genius, she was a genius. She just played dumb because that was a part of it. And then she just, my mom was just always like checking me on that. Like she was just like, you shouldn't ever want people to think that you're, less than what you are. Like, Courtney, you're smart, you're brilliant, you're this, you're that. But my thing is this, I wasn't ready to admit that I didn't believe that. I just was just like, Mom just don't understand. And again, I thought my mom was jealous. I was like, she's old, she's jealous, she's big. I'm like little, I'm cute. I got my weave going, I'm it. And Marilyn Monroe was it, and Mom was jealous of Marilyn.
You saying
So
you saying QR was washed?
yeah, she was old. Yeah, like come on, you think my kids don't think I'm old? They do. They say it all the time.
Yeah,
Yes, you think
washed
that
up.
your parents. That's kind of like what old does, though. Like Keon told me that we're failing at trying to make a baby, and we need to just give it up.
Hold on, you think I'm washed?
Yes, they think the why we are old. He said we're failing.
We putting the gloves on. Come show me washed.
Okay. Anyway, so
I'm gonna get a stiff jab too.
I don't think. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. Yes, he did, Naima. He told me that he said we need to just give it and stop trying. Yeah, we not making no baby over here.
Bust him up. You should have told me that.
He's sleeping.
That's why I'm going to hit him with a stiff jab while he's asleep.
Why?
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 You think I'm washed up?
Divine, you were almost 50 years old.
I don't care. Old lion versus young lion.
This is what I'm saying. It's very natural. I'm sure at 19 you thought 49-year-olds were washed too.
Nope.
You didn't.
Nope.
See? You still talk about how old your uncles are, and I'm like,
they could be old as hell.
Okay, but you somebody uncle too. You are your nephew and niece uncle. What the heck?
Nah, listen. Me and my nephew hang out though.
No, but you think he don't think of you as being an old man?
Nah.
See, this is why I always say to you too. In these moments, keep it 100, keep it a buck, keep it a
beat. You call me like, yo, man.
Okay, and what he gonna say while you talking on the phone to him? Babe, Justin's
because he know I wash him up.
No, they be like, oh yeah, old, yeah. They be talking to you like that.
You know, I mean, I'm older, but listen, my uncles is old. They in their 60s.
Okay, and you're going to be
not the 70s.
Hopefully, you'll be in your 60s as well. What do you think that your people, what your nephew and your niece and what do you think? What do you think these young men?
They gonna think I'm washed.
Oh my gosh, cool old men are only cool to other old men. These young boys do not be talking about something that these OGs cool. Like, no. And I
am a cool OG.
I said these young boys do not talk like that when OG is not around. They don't.
I've been one of them like, nah, OG, all right, cool.
You may say OG is all right and cool, but you ain't talking about something. You are not really sitting around talking about something that old man know what he's talking about. You are thinking that, you know, you doing your thing. You're a young dude. You're invincible. And like I always say, I always tell you, if anybody thought this way, I know it is you. I see how you think now.
What you mean? Hold up. Wait, rewind. What you mean?
I see how you think now. You think like you got it going on like your bee's knees. Like, you know, so I know at 19, 20, ain't nobody old can tell you.
That's not true. That's not true. I
disagree because
I listen to a bunch of old dudes. Supposed to one guy, like bullshit.
I think if you really are honest, there you may have listened to a bunch of old dudes, but there are also a bunch of old dudes that you was like, he's old and he is, and ain't nobody listen to him, and I know what I'm doing, and this is the way it's gonna do, and this is how it is.
Yeah, the old dudes that was kind of like still on the same level as I was on.
Okay, well, like I said, my professor was not on my level, and so again, I took it as like it wasn't like I no doubt I didn't go and change no look. I was like, you know, wow, okay, that hurt, and that's not the response I was expecting. That is not the talk that I was hoping to have with her today. But I did think about that conversation, you know, as I often do about, you know, I'm just doing reflective moments. I think about that conversation often, and I don't and I don't take it when someone, like I always tell you too, someone's criticism of you is not is not it is not to like condemn you. It's not a judgment of you. It's people can be they can offer criticism and it be constructive. And you know, it's all about how you take it. You know what I mean? So we're running out of time, but my next comment or my next daily dose, which is like I said, I thought it was a great segue.
I got another daily dose. Old versus young.
That's for you, so you can bring that up tomorrow. Old versus young.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, you could bring it up tomorrow, but I think this is a great segue because I really do want to know. I want to segue from the what is pro-black to what's the aftermath and what's going on with the Alabama brawl. Yeah, that's what I said. I've seen a lot of chair paraphernalia get created, earrings and medallions and like placards and you know a lot of things like that. But I haven't seen any movements develop. I haven't seen anything beyond that. So I wanted to know from the room. I know we went off on our own tangent with the pro-black conversation, but I wanted to know from the room what do you think the aftermath is, and what do you think it should be? You know, so those were my daily dose of DOSS. My last but not least was if anybody had any date night ideas. Tonight is our date night, and I'm not cooking, so I'm not cooking. But I did get a few items to have people they wanted to put together a little bowl for me. I had a couple of little items, but
I thought you was gonna eat the kale.
I didn't eat the kale, but I wanted the pho. I wanted the ramen with the beef broth and the scallions, and I got some little stuff to put on top of it. Didn't get
is that some pre-made stuff? I don't know what that is.
How to make it? Yeah,
with scallops?
No, the green onions, scallions.
Oh, scallops! I thought you said scallops. It's like I ain't making no scallops.
Pho is usually done Usually pho is usually done with pork or with beef.
Before,
no, we ordered it.
We ordered it.
We ordered it. The ramen bar. I mean, the ramen.
Yeah, that was highly disappointed.
So disappointed. Such a waste of money.
I could have made that in the microwave right now.
Such a waste of money.
I made this in the box way better.
This was different that I got. So I'm gonna make it all myself as opposed to buying it from or warming up, buying it from a restaurant.
So you gonna make some ramen and put that stuff in it?
I got noodles. It's not ramen. It's some different noodles. It's the lo mein noodles, and it has to be done in a broth. And this broth is supposed to actually steep over a couple of days, but this broth said it's ready to go now. And I got the little garlic chips to put on top. And
what noodles though?
They're called udon noodles.
Is that the stuff I asked you what was using in groceries?
I don't remember.
You said it was noodles.
Yeah, I got some. Yeah, I got some today. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess that's what you busting?
Yes. Huh? Don't be trying to eat none of my stuff, Devon. No, then I'm not gonna make it.
No, go ahead and make it.
No,
you know what? I'm making my own stuff.
Yeah, you make your own stuff.
I'm gonna pull out some chicken out the freezer right now. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna show you how some ramen is supposed to be done. We get pie and ma and pie and poo, a pie at the top, all that stuff. No. We gonna take
have a mukbang. We should have a live mukbang because we haven't had one of those in a while.
We can't. How?
We can have it on here.
On YouTube?
Yes.
Daily dose of DOSS.
Daily dose of DOSS. Because it is date night.
My own name. I'm a born with that name. I mess it up.
Oh yeah, and this is a what was it? Breaking news, y'all. Someone told me I was the only Miss DOSS. And not only that,
I said you was the only New York Mrs. DOSS.
Let me tell y'all.
That's what I said.
Not only is there another DOSS here in Athens, her name is actually Courtney DOSS. So Courtney, if you're out there, let's link because we got something to
Okay,
talk
first
about.
of all, I don't know this woman.
We got something to talk about.
Right.
We may have
And
something to talk
she's
about.
probably a fake DOSS anyway.
Oh, why? How is she a fake DOSS when her name was spelled the exact same way?
Listen, I
Because I've heard of some people
I want to know what's name is seeing some white woman named Devon DOSS.
Oh, that's right.
Remember I told you like
well, it's Devin. That's the way it would be for a woman. I told you I met a couple of women Devins. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm not opposed to naming
she ain't a real DOSS. She ain't a real DOSS. She damn sure ain't a Devon DOSS.
How is that? How's she not
Man, listen, I'm like the Outlander. There can be only one.
Y'all, I'm out. All I know is there is not another Courtney Omega DOSS, but there is another Courtney
so you
DOSS.
still only DOSS. You the only New York DOSS.
We're here in Athens. I want
it don't
my
matter.
name. I should be the only Courtney DOSS.
Listen, let's be very
worldwide.
clear. Listen, I want to make this very, very clear.
Yeah.
Right? Right? You are a New Yorker by injection.
I am not, and don't you ain't gonna try to get me on camera agreeing to that, so you can have that conversation again about home. No, honey, no, baby. Anyway, y'all, we will see y'all. We may see y'all later with a little mukbang, but we're gonna have a little date night. And we're getting ready for our little date night.
So wait, so date now has now turned into a mukbang?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm looking for some ideas. You didn't even.
I gave you the idea of doing yesterday, but you said let's